Welcome back to the NITE Economics YouTube channel, and today we're going to continue our historical gold analysis versus the S&P 500. So if you're liking the content, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like to the video, and drop a comment if you have anything to say. So let's get into it. So as you can see, gold has pulled back about 19% from the all-time high. This wick is about 26%, so it's recovered a little bit since that. So it's a big pullback. It's and it looks actually quite different from most pullbacks. I think the closest thing that it looks like to me, it's something like here. Although I think that gold is going to be bullish into the end of this decade, into the early 2030s, if not longer. And I think that gold might be in an area like this, or even like this, maybe somewhere around here where we're currently at, right? Where it'll continue to pull back some and probably just consolidate for a while before continuing its bull run to end the decade higher. And again, nobody has a crystal ball, but it's a good. I like looking at these charts because it gives us an idea of where we're currently at, what we can expect in the future. Like I've been calling for a recession at some point in the next couple of years, and this weakness here in the S&P 500. As of right now, I would say it's nothing really to be too concerned over, generally speaking. And the reason why I say that is because a pullback in the S&P 500 is a normal thing. Let's take a look at it. Let's get rid of the gold one. You could see that the S&P 500 has these normal pullbacks. Like, they're quite consistent. The only difference is that, to me, it looked very toppy, and it still looks to me kind of like this, right? Like where it's just kind of going up slowly, and then it's running out of steam, it pulls back, and then it continues, right? So maybe we're in a position like that right now, where it's just kind of running out of steam, pulls back, goes back up a little bit, comes back a little lower, and then it continues. I think it's very possible. It's very difficult to say exactly when a recession is going to happen, but what we will definitely need in order to have a recession, you need to have a prolonged, consistent pullback in the stock market, like you have during all of these recessions, right? You see these long consistent ones, right? You see these big pullbacks like this. This one was not one. But you could see, like, even leading into it, like it's not going anywhere, and it goes into the recession, right? So you could see it's a common thing, right? So like right now, it's still a bit premature to say that we're gonna 100% go into a recession, but definitely some of the signals are in place to tell us that there's probably one coming in the next couple of years. That doesn't mean that the S&P 500 can't go up higher. That also doesn't mean that gold currently can't pull back and consolidate for a while. I think it definitely could do that. I think a recession could definitely be a bullish sign for gold going into the end of the decade. So, if we imagine, a pullback in the S&P 500 that triggers the money printers to be turned back on, could be very bullish for not only gold but other assets, and it'd be very bullish for crypto as a whole, right? So long-term money printing will be bullish for gold and amongst many assets as a whole. So that's kind of what I have my eye out on right now. It's just keeping an eye on what the S&P 500 is doing, what gold is doing, what the Federal Reserve is doing. Are they going to at some point turn on the money printer? Well, I think they will eventually, but I think we need a drastic pullback in the stock market in order to see something like that. I think right now, there are some of the pre-signals to show that, maybe this is topping out, and maybe we have a larger pullback in the future. But at the same time, I would not be surprised if it bounces and continues higher before having a bigger pullback. So it's really hard to say exactly what's going to happen. But this is why we're constantly looking at these charts to kind of give us an idea of what can happen, right? What can happen with gold? What can happen with the S&P 500? But again, a big pullback here in gold is nothing to be afraid of. I think these could be good areas, you know, to dollar cost average. Get yourself a smaller position, because I do think it's going to live down here for a while, for a couple of months, and then maybe at the end of the year it goes a little bit higher. But I think as of right now, in my previous videos where I thought gold was not over and it was going to actually create a higher high, or a new all-time high later on in maybe Q2, Q3 of this year. I think now that's on the back burner for now, and I think what's more likely to happen with gold is it's gonna, you know, maybe consolidate for a couple of years, go down, and then later on into the end of the decade, finish with with some all-time highs and some higher price action in gold. But as of right now, I think it's going to consolidate with a bias to the downside. And right now, we're also keeping an eye on the S&P 500 to see what direction it wants to take. Right now, I think it looks like the direction is towards the downside, especially if we turn on. Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't look horrible quite yet, right? We need to see what happens, but if it keeps going lower, which I think it will go a bit lower, then we just got to really keep an eye on it and see what happens. Maybe it just does something like this and then it recovers. So we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't do something like this and then come back, but only time will tell, and keep you guys updated every step of the way. And that's all I have for today. If you guys are liking the content, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.